Today we're going to discuss chapter 14 and we're going to start into section 1. Chapter 14, as you can see on the screen, says it's dealing with work, power, and machines. We're going to focus today on just work. What is work? What is its definition? How do we calculate it? What's its formula? And the same with power. So outside of science class, these two words can often mean similar things, but in physics they have very, very specific definitions. If you look at these two pictures, and I ask you the question, who's doing more work? You might look at the Olympian builder on the left who's lifting much, much, much more mass than the little kid. However, if I were to say that who's doing more work, the man holding the weight over his head or the kid lifting the weight, in physics, the word work has a different definition. So the little kid is actually doing more work because he's actually moving the weight. And in order for work to be done on an object, motion gets involved. So what is work then? Work is the product of force and distance. Remember, product just means we're multiplying it together. So we're going to take the force and we're going to multiply it by a distance. Work is done when a force on an object acts in the direction the object is moving. That means you apply a force in a certain direction, so you push a box to the right, and the box moves in that direction. So if you have no movement, you've got no work. So again, bodybuilder or Olympic lifter here, the direction of the force is upwards. He's pulling up on the weights and then pushing up once it's over his head, and you also get the movement in that same direction. So work depends on the direction. Any part of the force that does not act in the direction of the motion does no work. So on our left example here, it doesn't look, normal like that's what you would see in an airport. But if you're going to apply all of your force into work, you should actually have it totally flat. As you start lifting it upwards, like we can see in the middle picture, some of that force on the up arrow does no work because your suitcase is not moving in an upward direction. And then if you're carrying your suitcase and you're pulling up on it to fight gravity, but you're walking forward, then no work is being done by you on the suitcase. In these three examples, I want you to just take a second and think about, is work being done or not? On the top left, we have a man at a parade or carnival of some sort selling popcorn. And if he's just standing there with the bucket of popcorn on his head, is he doing work on the bucket of popcorn? The answer is no. If he's standing still, he's applying a force upwards to fight gravity. But if he's standing still and there's no motion, then no work is being done. The second example on the top right is work being done by the mean older brother on the wagon. The answer is yes. He is applying a force forward, pulling the wagon, and the wagon is moving in that same direction. We could also say that the earth is doing work on the little sister when she has gravity applied to her in a downward direction and she falls and hits her face on the ground. The next thing we're going to do is look at how do we calculate how much work is being done on an object when a force is applied to it and it moves in that same direction. Like the definition said, work is the product of force and distance. So we're going to multiply the force in newtons by a distance in meters, and then we're going to figure out the amount of work that was done. Work is measured in joules, so capital J for joule, and 1 joule is the equivalent to the amount of force of 1 newton moving an object 1 meter in that direction. The symbol for work is W. Don't confuse it with weight. Weight is a force and work is not. Let's go through a couple problems looking at the work formula that we just learned. From Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Charlie and Mac need to move a pool table in Patty's pub. If both men lift the table with a combined force of 7,840 newtons, so that is a force, we can write that down, 7,840 newtons, and only manage to lift the pool table a distance of 0.05 meters. How much work did they do? So we are trying to solve for work. So we're just going to take our numbers, substitute them into the equation. 7,840 newtons multiplied by 0.05 meters. If you run that through your calculators, you get 392. And remember that this is measured in joules for work. We got to go back and look at sig figs. 7,840 has 3 sig figs, 0.5 only has 1. So this needs to get rounded to 1 sig fig, which is going to be 400 joules of work. Not much at all. Our second one is extremely relevant to today. A massive snowstorm came through Belle Plaine, and school is canceled except e-learning day. What a great day, right? Wrong. Your dad wants you to shovel the driveway before having any fun, so you step outside and the snow comes up to your knees. Probably could happen today or tomorrow. You grab your shovel and begin pushing the snow. You give up after using 350 newtons of force to accomplish 1,200 joules of work. So we have a force again, 350.0, and we have an amount of work, 1,200 joules. What distance of snow have you removed? So in this example, we're going to have to get distance by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by force. Going to cancel force there, and we get work divided by force. So 1,200 joules divided by 350.0 newtons. And if you do that on your calculator, you end up with 3.428, blah, 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 bunch of numbers. For sig figs, we've got 4 up here, we got 2 down here, we need 2, so here's 1, 2, we look to the next spot, it is lower than 5, so we're not rounding up, so we get 3.4 meters. That's how much snow you removed before you gave up. The second concept we're going to cover today is power. Again, work and power often, how much power did you use? How much work did you put in? Kind of means the same thing outside of science class, but in physics, they have those specific definitions. So power is a rate. Remember, anytime we see that word rate, we're thinking time. So it's the rate of doing work, or you can think of it as work per second. So doing work at a faster rate requires more power. If you increase the power, more work can be done in the same amount of time, or the same amount of work can be done in less time. So either way, you're getting more done, either in a shorter amount of time, or you're doing more work in the same amount of time. Okay, topical example right now would be a snow blower versus a snow shovel. If you think of the amount of snow that's on your driveway, the amount of work you would have to do to lift it, apply force to it, and move it off of your driveway is the same, regardless of whether you use a snow shovel or a snow blower. It's still fighting gravity and lifting it and moving it to a different spot. So both of them do the same amount of work. Which one's going to do it in a shorter amount of time is going to be the snowblower. It can go through faster than somebody with a shovel would. So if it does the same amount of work in less time, that means more power. Okay, drag races in cars a lot of times come down to who has more horsepower. And it's not always that simple, but for the most part, more horsepower typically means faster car. They can do more work covering the distance in a shorter amount of time. So to calculate power equation looks like this. We take work divided by time, and capital P stands for power. Don't get it confused with momentum. That was lowercase p. So the units of power are the watt, named after James Watt, and it's a capital W. Again, gets a little confusing with work being a W and watts being a W, so make sure you're keeping that straight in your head. 1 watt is 1 joule per second, and if you're curious, a horsepower is equal to 746 watts. That was the amount of power, the amount of work done per second that a horse could do pulling a carriage that's loaded with some amount of mass in it. Now we're going to look at some examples with the power equation. So let's say Kenny Clark, who is a defensive tackle for the Packers, he's playing against the Vikings. After the ball gets snapped, Kenny Clark does 21,300 joules of work in 3.0 seconds before hitting Kirk Cousins and causing a fumble. How much power did Kenny Clark generate from the snap to the fumble? So what we know in this one is the amount of work is 21,300 joules, and the time is 3.0 seconds. We're going to substitute that into our equation. 21,300 divided by 3.0 seconds. Punch that into your calculator, and you get 7,100, and this is watts. Sig figs, we got 3, we got 2, we have 2 in our answer, so we're good. The last one that we're going to do is about Mighty Ducks. In Mighty Ducks 2, Luis Mendoza is reported to be able to skate blue line to blue line in 1.9 seconds. That's a time. If he exerts 2,100 newtons of force while skating, and the distance from blue line to blue line is 19.3 meters, how much power does he generate? So in this question, we are trying to find power, but it doesn't give us an amount of work in joules. However, it does give us a force right here and a distance right here. So we can solve for work and we can substitute that in here, and then our time comes from here, and we're going to kind of combine two equations into one. So we're going to say power is equal to force times distance over time. Instead of saying work over time, we can say since work is equal to force times distance, we can substitute that in. So then we get 2,100 newtons multiplied by 19.3 meters, and that is all over 1.9 seconds. You punch that into your calculator, and you come up with 21,331.57, bunch of other numbers. 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 3 sig figs, so we need 2, 1, 2. We're going to look at this next spot. It's less than 5. We're not going to run the 1. We're not going to round the 1 up, so we get 21,000. Got to keep those zeros. And that is watts of power. Now you've got a couple examples of how to calculate work and know when work is done on an object. You also have some examples of how to calculate power using the power equation. So you should be able to complete the worksheet called Work and Power Check that is on Schoology. That should be turned in before class on Friday.